Welcome back, folks, to day 6 of this Project Zomboid series, focusing on how to survive your very first week in the new update, Build 42. I'll talk through all of my decisions in real time as we play out week 1, the things I'm focusing on and why, as well as some tips and tricks to help you along while you're getting started. If this is your first time tuning into this series, make sure you start with episode 1. You can find a link to that down in the description. We're getting into the last couple of days of the series now, and my focus is shifting towards preparation for the long term, which means tackling more zombies. So I think you guys will enjoy this one. Like and subscribe if you do enjoy the video, and without further ado, this is day 6 of your first week in Build 42. It is day 6. I think at this point, it is important for me to note, once again, that we could have the helicopter event come up at any time, and we're just gonna have to keep our ears open. Now, one of the biggest things about the helicopter event is that we could actually work out when it's arriving. We could at least get a very small heads up. Those come from radios. If we have a radio and we leave it on the emergency broadcast frequency, which not all radios have access to, but if we were able to get that, we would get like I think it's a day's heads up you get before the helicopter arrives. But unfortunately, that is not something we have. So the biggest thing with that in mind is we don't want to stray too far from our base. Even if we do, we want to take like a book with us. Something that we can do while we stay indoors and stay in cover. Just grabbing some extra sheets for our windows here. Antibiotics, really good thing, helps us fight infections should we get one. Not the zombie virus. That's something that will not help against, unfortunately. Nothing does. Okay, this should be enough sheets. I'm just gathering some extras so we can block off those extra windows. Oh, hello there. We can talk very briefly about fog. Fog in Build 41 didn't really have a purpose. It would just serve to be a bit of an annoyance to the player. But in Build 42, fog does indeed have an effect on the zombies, and it makes it more difficult for the zombies to see you. It reduces like their awareness. So with that in mind, it would not be a bad idea for us to try and use that as a chance to get closer to the Gigamart. Maybe try and sneak around some zombies while there's some fog. Now, I'm not saying it would be successful. It is an option, and we can try and be a little bit more sneaky using the fog to our advantage. So I think that's all of the windows now covered. Yes. Okay, we'll leave our extra sheets up here. We've got some food to bring with us, and we're gonna grab a book before we head out as well, just so that we have one with us in the event that we need to dip into a building and just stay hidden. At least we have a book that we can use during that downtime to learn some skills. But our main goal from here really is just to continue to work our way towards the Gigamart. I don't think there's really anything else on my cards right now. Obviously gas, but we're limited on that front since we don't have a vehicle. I'm definitely glad that we made the decision to... Ooh, there's a few zombies in here. Oh, that's okay. Definitely glad we made the decision to stay at this temporary safe house a little bit longer. Okay, you're just gonna go around the fence. They're getting smarter. Not that smart, though. That was a nice little group that we dealt with there. It's gonna make our home base a little bit safer. Now, I really am keeping my ears open right now, because as soon as we hear any signs of a helicopter, we are dipping back to base as quickly as possible. I wonder if that's a radio or a TV. Okay, a couple zombies in here. Check the bookcase. Nothing. Oh, I've actually been in here. I remember the bread next to the TV. Couple of zombies around here. I'm just using fences wherever we can. I'm gonna try and be a little bit sneaky here. Our condition on our weapon is still really good. Okay, we're not gonna try and be sneaky, just like that. There were a bunch of them hidden behind that building. But again, no need to panic. We'll just use... Oh God. Okay, so that is called a meta event. That gunshot was to my, I think my back left. And you should see that a lot of zombies will now start moving that way, probably. Which is not great for me in this case. And just making our way through all of these zombies. I'm just checking that these watches don't have alarms set on them either. I do want to make sure we try and catch Life and Living. That's in 2 hours. There's a zombie in there. We can catch the carpentry show today. That would be amazing. I think we can get our last level that we need. Chemical warfare, gas masks, recharge filters, sure. Headphones, I believe. Yep, we can dismantle those. For electrical, bag of fish fingers. That's a British staple right there. A British staple. There's nothing better than a good fish finger sarnie, probably with ketchup. I hear a zombie. Hello. Oh, a radio. It'll probably be too much to ask for me to find this with a emergency radio frequency, but we will check just in case. No emergency broadcast frequency on this one. Now, there are some extra uses to these. I can remove the battery from this, for example, for my flashlights. Batteries are bugged. Do have a couple of bugs right now, so that could be useful for us. We'll keep that battery. We can also dismantle it for electronics XP if that is the way we want it to go. I go to Life and Living. Tune in, and we'll just hang out here for a minute. We can loot upstairs while we wait. The important thing is that we are making progress towards the Gigamart. House is very similar to the one we're actually in right now. Leather gloves. We already have some of those. Exactly the same. The only reason I'm going around closing up the curtains right now is just on the off chance that the helicopter shows up. Is it completely necessary? No, but should the helicopter show up, I want to be ready to just sit in a room and do very little of anything until it goes away. We're going to make sure that all of these curtains are closed. Okay, 20 minutes, and then we can watch this show, and then we'll keep moving towards the Gigamart. We can crack open the bag of fish fingers, why not? Y'all are watching Woodcraft. Okay, we're going to be getting very close to the end of Woodcraft now. Read our book while that's going on. Alrighty, we are very, very close to leveling up, but I don't think... Oh, maybe? I don't think we're going to gain enough. We're going to be close, but yeah, we're close, but not quite there. Our fish fingers are cooking. We'll let them finish off, and then we'll head back out. If you guys didn't know as well, in Build 42, you can also use stovetops to light your cigarettes. That is something that can be done. Previously, it was only available through a mod, but if you have a smoking character, they can now be used to do that too. So it's looking fairly quiet. I wouldn't mind seeing if there's any cars parked outside the church. It's eerie quiet right now. The Gigamart is just behind these buildings. There is a vehicle over here. Let's go and check this out. Do we have a gas can? We do. We have everything we need to siphon. Oh, it's a prisoner transport. Interesting. I wonder what we might find in here. It does have gas. Okay, that is a big find. It does have gas. Now, does it have a key? Trunk's locked. It does have a key. 9 mil rounds and a lighter. Let's see what we got here. Oh, wow. Okay. Possibly the smallest amount of gas I have ever seen. Shin guards. I haven't even seen these. Possibly the smallest amount of gas I've ever seen. However, we do have a little bit. Let's try these. Let's see if this makes us uncomfortable. Well, they look cool. Neat. They seem to overtake the knee pads, but that's okay. Now, I do have a little bit of gas on me. It's not much. I am tempted to use this to loot the Gigamart because it's practically parked outside. The fog is starting to dissipate, which, you know, has its good and bad sides. I'm a little bit worried by all these zombies, but we're gonna have to start some clearance if we want to get in there, I think. It's that or we check the front, but I feel like it's going to be much the same over there. I think we just start pulling zombies and dealing with them a little bit at a time, and we can throw our loot into that truck and drive it back to base. It seems like there's a few less out the front. So what I'm attempting to do here is I'm just fighting on what I think is the edge of their hearing range. And I'm attempting to use this to my advantage to pull away like a few of them, but not all of them. And so far, it seems to be working in my favor. Now, if I had enough ammunition, the other course of action I could take is I could obviously go in guns blazing here, but we don't really have enough ammunition to do so in the shotgun that we have back at base. I think I would end up drawing way more than I'd be able to deal with. And you can see like these zombies gradually getting closer to me, and that's probably because like of the noise they're hearing from combat. I'm just gonna keep pulling away the odd one or two and keep working away at this. Whoops. Swing and a miss. But we're making good headway here. Just check my back, nothing behind me. Good swing. And again, just remember you can stand on the zombies to keep them down. Nice hat. I'll take that. Thank you. Was there any functional reason for me taking that hat? No, zero. There was zero functional reason. Did I want it though? Yes. And sometimes you've just got to take small joys from the situation. It's gonna take me a while to get into the supermarket, so we might as well use the time, right? And have some fun. Starting to get fatigued. We are reaching maximum effort. There's some more coming over from my left. Just trying my best here to take things easy. Try and stagger the zombies so that I can fight one at a time. Police zombie. I think we've still got a fair few of them that we need to clear out by the Gigamart. Come on, buddy, fall over. All right, we're gonna take a moment. Remember that we can look around while we're sitting down. We're doing this in an open area just so we've got like enough room here to breathe, to see stuff coming way in advance. Our weight is actually gaining now, so we can stop eating. Now, I'm not too worried about the gun that the police officer had either. Our aiming skill is not great. I have found that pistols especially are a bit harder to use in the new update. Not sure if that's just me. Shotguns seem to be the easiest. Pistols like that used to be pretty easy to use, but I believe it's been changed a little bit now. And also, I very strongly doubt that we'd have enough ammo. This looks like a survivor zombie to me. Yeah, it is. He's got some elbow pads, some fresh boots that are in good condition as opposed to ours that are half broken. Not sure I'm a big fan of the balaclava. Also looks like it's been ripped apart, so let's drop that. Now, I'm interested to see if the elbow pads or the shin guards are too much at once and we start to get uncomfortable, but let's see. Not as big as a group anymore outside the Gigamart. I feel like we've been successfully whittling them down. Yeah. There's now the door's broken, which leads me to believe that potentially this is the thing. Potentially there could be a lot more in the back entrance there because the door is broken, so there could be some inside. But we've done a pretty good job of clearing some of these. Now the tricky part is to try and get a couple of their attention here without drawing the whole group. So I'm just gonna edge my way closer bit by bit and wait for one of them to seemingly notice me. Okay, here comes one. Excellent. Just like that, we've pulled one away. Now, I might draw a couple more from fighting, which would be fine. Because this one's going to take ages to fall over. Got a big group massing on that side too. I'm going to pivot round a little bit here. So you've got a couple in the trees and a large group just by the door. That's the group we need to get rid of to get inside. And again, we're just going to edge our way closer. This one seems to have spotted me. My biggest thing right now, to be honest, is that I don't think there's going to be enough time in the day for us to do this. We're going to have to work relatively quickly. That's my main concern. They're all looking the other way right now, which makes it hard to attract their attention. So they're all looking away from me. I think I'm instead going to draw these guys. A couple more of them now. A little bit more fatigue kicking in, so let's take a moment. This is the trouble, you see, with having to work through these big groups like this. We're gonna get fatigue often, and we're gonna need to take breaks often, and unfortunately, there's no real way around that. That's just how it's gotta be. We've just gotta take our time with it. Now, if I wanted to, what I could do is set an alarm on one of my watches. In fact, let's go ahead and do that, right? We are wearing a watch. We could go ahead and set an alarm, and we're gonna set it for 9 p.m. And that's gonna be my, okay, you have to get out of here. That's my final warning, as it were. Now, if my alarm goes off, watches don't draw too much attention. If it were like an alarm clock or something like that, it would. So if you're already thinking like, oh, that'll draw the zombies though, not particularly. Not for a digital watch. Should be relatively safe. Would only really draw them if they were right next to me. And we're in a position now where we are actually managing to get a lot closer to the building. I did see one or two inside. I think it was just one that I saw. Also see some bodies at like the bottom of the stairs there, which is a bit weird. Because I've not been in here, so they must have been there when the game started. So I'm gonna grab these last couple. Just back up, just so I'm not right next to an open doorway, just in case they try to sneak up on me. There's one on the inside of that door, by the looks of it, I think. A little bit of attention coming from elsewhere. I'm just constantly keeping an eye open here on my surroundings. We got one on the inside here on this door. We are in. Flashlight comes out. Looks like we're all right. Okay, now my focus currently is on non-perishables. As much as I love the cooking in this game, and it is something that I quite often enjoy, right now my focus should be on calories. Okay, tiredness is kicking in. That doesn't surprise me. We've had a very active day. So we want stuff that's going to give us calories, stuff that's going to last a long time. I could drink a soda. Again, just so you guys are aware, I think we've mentioned this a couple times. I could drink a soda here and get rid of this tiredness because they are bugged right now. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to get used to it. That's a bad idea. What I am going to do is check these last couple shelves. We are stocking up on as much as we can carry, really. I think this is basically all we need. I'm gonna take a quick look in the store. Store is relatively clear, but this is pretty much all we need at this point. A little bit intrigued by all these zombies, to be honest, and how they just ended up dead on the ground. So weird. I've never seen this. Key to the food market as well on this guy, should we have needed it. Very strange. Okay, I'm gonna turn my alarm off because we are heading out now. Those are the ice freezers that I want to get hold of. I want to get one of those because they have great storage capacity and will allow us to freeze some fresh food. If we can, I'm going to try my best and get back to this truck that we know has a little bit of gas. I'm going to load this food up and I'm going to go back for that fridge freezer. It's a little bit of a risk with how tired we currently are, but I'm going to give it a try. Just wait for it to transfer these goods over. My thinking is that the fruit cocktail should have a good amount of calories, should be a decent thing for us to pick up. Whether it is or not, I'm not 100% sure, but that's my thinking. All right, we're gonna add some gas. It's not gonna be much, but it should be enough to get us back home. Check the front right seat and make sure it's empty because that's where the fridge freezer is gonna go. You can use seats to hold heavy items. Now, one thing I can do as well, if I want to avoid hitting these trees while I'm walking through the woods, I can use the right click function, do walk to, and just click where I'm gonna go. My character will pick the best route without hitting those trees. You can see he diverts around them. So if you do want to avoid like thick clusters of trees like that, you can do that. It's a very good way to avoid zombies if they're chasing you, especially. Not something I usually do, but it is an option. I think I'd like to try and maybe get around this zombie. I don't know if I want to draw a fight. I think it's gonna spot me. I don't think it spotted me. If it spots me on the way out, that's a different thing. That's okay. Ooh. All right, we're on a time limit now. Those zombies have seen us. This freezer has nothing in it, so we can grab it. We've got it. Now we are very, very heavy. Fighting is going to be difficult with this, so I want to avoid a fight wherever possible. We're gonna get muscle strain. That's all right. As you can see, it is building up because we're overweight right now, but because we've taken precautions and we've cleared this area already, we can make it back to the vehicle. Again, I'm going to use the walk to function to avoid these trees. We're going to jump right in the vehicle. We're going to offload this onto the passenger seat. Even though it says that it comes up red, it does work. Always been a tried and true method. The vehicle runs. That's great news. Quite slow, but that's all right. As long as she works. I think we can just about squeeze through here. Yep. You can see how some vehicles like this are negatively affected by off-roading as well in comparison to others. Like, we found it like relatively okay to do in our other vehicle, but this one does not react well to being off-road. Okay, we made it back. Now, I noticed we had a zombie approaching us here, so we should deal with that. Now, you'll see how many hits this takes me because I'm tired. You can see why fighting with tiredness is never advised, but it is important that we try and get as much of this indoors as we can before we go to sleep, because if the helicopter event shows up, it's important we have at least some food indoors. We can leave maybe like the boxes of cans, that's fine. We're gonna grab the fridge freezer. Okay, I can't do that, too much in my inventory. Offload first. Great run though. That is a very, very successful run for us. And I think this is one of the lessons to take away from this video. If things look busy on a scouting run like we did, we drove past the Gigamart and we identified like, wow, there were a lot of zombies there. And it was going to be really difficult to get in there. With the new stealth system, how it is not impossible. Even if there seems to be a lot of zombies, just take your time. This game, as we've said, is a marathon, not a sprint. And it is possible. You've just got to take your time with it. I'm going to clear some space here so I can grab this ridge freezer. We are getting so tired, so this is definitely a good time for us to get some sleep. We can put this here in front of the window. I think we'll put it here. All right. So because this building has power, that freezer will now have power. And with that, we can grab something to eat and then go get some sleep. Grab something with a decent amount of calories. We're putting on weight, but that's okay right now. And that brings us to the end of yet another day. And we will be approaching our final day in the series when we wake up. Let's see if we get the helicopter event. All right. No helicopter events. I am also noticing, however, that we are slightly uncomfortable, which could be down to our armor. But we'll wrap up the day here and we'll catch you all in the next one.